Ukraine has announced that its forces have retaken 3 villages in the eastern region of Donetsk. This is the first reported gains of Ukraine's much-anticipated counter-offensive, which the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed is now underway. Ukrainian forces posted unverified videos that show them hoisting the Ukrainian flag in the village of Blahodatne in the Donetsk region and their unit's flag in the adjacent village of Neskuchne. Kyiv's deputy defense minister has said that the nearby Makarivka was also taken. Moscow has not confirmed the fall of any of these villages. On Sunday, Russia said that Ukraine had made an unsuccessful attempt to attack a Russian naval ship with 6 high-speed drone boats in the Black Sea. The Russian vessels were patrolling major natural gas pipelines. Russian Defense Ministry officials said that Ukraine attacked the headquarters of Russia's Black Sea Fleet on the Russian-annexed Crimean Peninsula. They added that at the time of the attack, a US Global Hawk unmanned surveillance aircraft was in the central area of the Black Sea. Russia and Ukraine announced simultaneously on Sunday the return of nearly 100 soldiers from each side. Ukraine security services released a video which appeared to show free Ukrainian troops returning by bus. The head of Ukraine's presidential administration said 95 Ukrainian service members had been returned, including some of them who were wounded. They included members of the National Guard and border guards. On the other hand, Russia's defense ministry said that 94 Russians in the Ukrainian captivity had been released after negotiations and would be taken to a medical institution to be examined. A US musician and former paratrooper has been arrested in Moscow on drug-dealing charges. His court appearance, locked in a metal cage, has been shown on state television. Russia's court system named the detained American as Michael Travis Leak, a 51-year-old who was formerly a songwriter and a musician in a Russian rock band. The US State Department has responded by saying that it pursues consular access as soon as possible in such cases and works to provide all appropriate consular assistance. The department, however, has not clarified if US officials had yet had consular access to Leak. Hundreds of pro-Trump supporters drove in a caravan from Miami to Palm Beach on Sunday to show their support for the ex-president who was indicted over a classified documents case. Supporters adorned their cars with flags, displayed banners condemning the indictment, and birthday messages for Trump, who turns 77 on Wednesday. A federal indictment was unsealed on Friday, charging Trump with illegally retaining classified documents and obstructing justice. He has denied wrongdoing and called the investigation politically motivated. Trump is due to appear in a federal courthouse in Miami on Tuesday to make his initial appearance on the charges. Independent vote monitors say a recently formed centrist group that advocates Montenegro's joining the European Union has won the small Balkan country's early parliamentary election. Montenegro's Europe Now movement won 25.5% of votes in a snap election on Sunday, according to the projection, while the pro-European Democratic Party of Socialists, which ruled Montenegro between 1990 and 2020, came in second with 23.8% of support. The snap elections are expected to put an end to deep political divisions and years of instability that have hampered the small NATO member country on its route to joining the European Union. Mali's security and defense forces cast their ballots during early voting ahead of the new constitution referendum, which will be held on June 18th. This is a delayed step towards a return to civilian rule in the insurgency-wrecked nation. The referendum had been scheduled for March 19th but was postponed indefinitely as the Sahel state battles militants and separatist insurgencies. The new constitution is the first major step in plans the military has invoked to justify continuing to govern until 2024, following the ouster of former president in August 2020. The European Union is considering over 1 billion euros in aid for Tunisia to help develop its battered economy and cooperate on migration and border issues. The EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said on Sunday EU chief was accompanied by Dutch and Italian prime ministers in a visit to Tunisia. The EU, like other major donors to Tunisia, has so far conditioned its support on the country finalizing a loan program with the International Monetary Fund. However, President Kais Saied has rejected key reforms required by that plan. The first China-Honduras high-level entrepreneur exchange conference took place on Sunday in Beijing. Attendees from both sides pledged to further develop the growth potential of trade while promoting practical cooperation. The event coincided with the opening of a Honduran embassy in the Chinese capital on the same day. During the conference, representatives from around 100 Chinese enterprises in various sectors had a one-on-one discussion with the Honduran entrepreneurs. Honduras switched its allegiance from Taiwan and established diplomatic relations with China on March 26th this year. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei has said that a deal with the West over Tehran's nuclear work was possible if the country's nuclear infrastructure remained intact. His remarks come amid a stalemate between Tehran and Washington to revive a 2015 nuclear pact. Months of indirect talks between Tehran and Washington to restore the nuclear accord with 6 major powers have stalled since September, with both sides accusing each other of making unreasonable demands. At least 10 people have been killed and 25 injured after a bus rolled off a ramp at a roundabout in the Hunter region in Australia's New South Wales state. 18 passengers were injured in the accident. The driver of the bus, a 58-year-old man, has been taken into custody. According to the police, a crime scene has been established and an investigation into the crash has begun. In yet another incident of gun violence being reported from the US, multiple shots fired at a nightclub in Houston, Texas, has left 6 people injured, with 1 being in critical condition. The Houston Police Department continues to review surveillance from the site of the incident. No suspect is in custody as of yet. The shooting comes just hours after a similar incident in San Francisco took place, where a mass shooting at a block party left 9 injured. The police are investigating a shooting that happened in Vancouver, Canada on Saturday. The victim, a man in his 30s, was left with life-threatening injuries. Police officers treated the injured gunshot victim before taking him to a hospital. According to the officials, 1 person was arrested at the crime scene and investigators are working to determine if there are additional suspects at large. Vancouver police records for 2022 show violent crime rising 12% over pre-pandemic levels. Police in Colorado, US have released body camera footage following the death of a teenager who was shot by an officer after an alleged robbery. 14-year-old Jordell Richardson was shot by an officer who chased him as he ran from a local store, where police say he shoplifted vape materials with a group of youths on June 1st. A multi-agency team is investigating the shooting. A portion of a major US highway collapsed in Philadelphia after a vehicle caught fire underneath it. No injuries have been reported in the incident. Firefighters that were called to the scene early on Sunday began battling heavy fire coming from a vehicle. Officials say that it would likely take some number of months to fully rebuild the roadway, over which roughly 160,000 vehicles pass daily. A massive fire engulfed an Egyptian tourist boat in the Red Sea on Sunday. 3 British tourists are missing and 12 had been rescued from the yacht after it caught fire. According to the officials, an eyewitness video shows a man jumping from a burning yacht as rescuers waited below in inflatable boats. Officials say the fire was caused by an electric short circuit on the yachts named Hurricane and had been on a trip since June 6th.
ينزل من قدام هذا اكيد. لا والله كذا واحد مو واحد. مو فاضي.
The Mayon volcano in the northeastern Philippines was seen this morning with superheated streams of gas, debris and rocks cascading down its upper slope. This indicates activity below the surface that could precede a hazardous eruption. On Friday, Philippine troops, police and rescue workers began forcibly evacuating residents near the volcano, and its increasing unrest indicated a violent eruption is possible within weeks or within days as well. Pakistanis in the country's northwest dealt with the aftermath of heavy rains that swept through the area on Sunday, that caused several houses to collapse. The weather swept through and left at least 25 people dead and 145 others injured. Rain and hail hit multiple districts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province and uprooted trees and knocked down electrical transmission towers. Thousands of people marched in Brazil's Sao Paulo during the 27th LGBTQ Pride Parade on Sunday. They called for more support and social policies for the community with the LGBTQ rainbow flags and dressed in colorful clothes. People of all ages danced and sang, encouraged by passionate speeches. Thousands gathered in New York to celebrate the National Puerto Rican Day Parade to celebrate the culture, art and music of Puerto Rico, a Caribbean island. The parade traveled 35 blocks uptown, featuring dozens of Puerto Rican organizations and groups who waved blue and red flags. Nearly 25,000 participants came from near and far to walk in the parade, celebrating achievements of the Puerto Rican culture. In sports, Manchester City returned home after winning their first Champions League final on Saturday in Istanbul. City beat Inter Milan with midfielder Rodri scoring the winner. The players will parade their 3 trophies this season: Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League in an open-top bus parade. City are now the second English club to win the treble alongside Manchester United and are the 10th team across Europe to achieve this feat. For Pep Guardiola, he becomes the first manager to win a treble with 2 different clubs, having also done it with Barcelona in 2009. Uruguay beat Italy 1-0 to win their maiden FIFA Under-20 World Cup title. Their win ends a streak of 4 consecutive wins by European teams in the tournament. The South American team dominated from the start at the Diego Maradona Stadium in Argentina. They had 15 shots to just 3 for Italy, but could not break the deadlock until the 86th minute. This was when midfielder Luciano Rodriguez finally